Video walkthrough on the Keystone Bullet. We'll start up in the back. You are pre-wired for a backup camera. Now, it does not come with a backup camera, but it is pre-wired for one. All you'd have to do is buy the kit for it, and you can have us install the camera if you'd like. And then it just uses power from your marker lights. So the running lights on your vehicle need to be on, and that turns the camera on. Then you just turn the screen on inside your truck after you've plugged it in. Got in the back a spray port for quick disconnect spray hose, and we'll show you where that is as we move along to the front. Bumper caps, they come off. That'll be the perfect spot to store your sewer hose. We do have an outdoor shower, and they use this term shower loosely because I don't think you're going to ever take a full-blown shower out here. But you have hot and cold, and then that hose comes out and you can hang it on the right down there. Get your black and gray tank dump right here. So your gray handles your gray, your black handles your black. Gray tank is your shower and your sink water. Your black tank is like your toilet water. And then I always tell people make sure those handles are all the way closed before you take that cap off. And then I always dump my black tank first. Let that get all the way emptied, and then use the gray to flush out the hose so I don't have to carry around a stinky black tank hose. Your seals for your slide, every once in a while you're all going to want to inspect them, make sure they're not dry or cracked or anything like that. If they start to get that way, you can bring it in and have us do what's called a slide out maintenance, or you could buy the necessary materials to do that yourself. And we sell those here. Some storage up here with the cranks, with your crank for your backup for your tongue jack. Then here you have your main hookup for everything. So you have your battery disconnect. This is a key, so now your battery is connected, so you'd be able to use things off of your battery. And if you have your battery disconnect off and you have it plugged in, it does charge when you're plugged in, but if you have your disconnect off, your charge won't reach the battery, so it won't charge the battery. A satellite and cable input. So if you have a portable satellite, you hook it there. If your campground provides cable, you'd hook it to cable. Your freshwater fill. This is where you'll stick your hose to fill the onboard fresh tank. Then you'd use your pump to pull from that. This one down here. This one down here is your city water. It's even labeled right there, city water. That's where you stick your hose if your campground provides water, and you'd operate off of city water pressure rather than your pump. And then the black one, you can stick a hose to that. And then as you're dumping your black tank, you can turn the hose on. There's a little nozzle in the black tank that'll flush it out. Get some power stabilizer jacks. So this bottom one is the rear one, the top one's the front. Very simple. They both work the same. One will go down and the other, and then they'll push up kind of evenly. They're not meant to level the trailer. They're meant to stabilize it. If you want your trailer to be level, use your tongue jack front and back. And then if you want side to side, as you're backing it in, you have to back it in onto some blocks underneath the tires to get it level side to side. And you could also unscrew this, and then run your hose. You got a cable hooked up, you can run it in and through there. That way you don't have to leave this door open. Very nice. Then right below that little hose, that little drain right there, that's your drain for your fresh tank. So that's where you drain the water out of your fresh tank, and I definitely recommend draining your fresh tank like almost after every trip. If you filled it and then only used half of it, and then you let the other half of that tank sit full of water for a long time, it'll start to get stagnant and smelly, so I definitely recommend draining it. Right here, good information for you. You got your VIN, your unloaded vehicle weight. So this trailer weighs 5,160 pounds. You got your gross vehicle weight rating and all that. Cargo carrying capacity. Tire pressure, that's an important one, 65 psi. That's the number you want to go off of, not what the tires say. Got a brand new battery in there, Group 24 RV marine grade battery. If it's going to be a long time between trips and you don't have a way to plug it in at home to keep the battery charged, disconnect your battery using that disconnect switch I showed you. In the winter, I recommend taking the battery out. Saves the cold from like killing the battery. The winter is harsh on these batteries. Dual 30-pound cylinders, 20-pound cylinders. They are filled. You do have an automatic changeover regulator, so whichever one it's pointing to first. So it's pointing here. You can see it'll pull from this tank. If you were to have both on and this one to get all the way depleted, it'll switch to pulling from this tank. However, this won't move, indicating it has switched. So keep that in mind. And then some people put it in the middle like this, up and down, thinking they're going to pull from both tanks equally. That's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. One or the other. Power tongue jack with a light definitely helps hooking up at night. And it beats hand cranking it every day of the week. Got your chains, remember to cross them. Your 7-way here, and then you have your trailer breakaway right here. So this will get hooked up with your truck as well, and then if your hitch were to ever come undone, it'll pull the pin out of the breakaway, activate the brakes on the trailer. Keeps the trailer from rolling away into traffic if it comes undone. Here's the hose for that spray port on the back I was showing you. On the other side of the storage, you got some pegboard there, so you get the materials, the hangers on pegboard, then you can hang some stuff up in here. Moving along, got cable and TV outlet. So cable and antenna right here, and then power, GFCI protected power. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit, so if one were to trip, they're all going to trip. Then you have it's a back right here for a TV mount. So if you want to get those, I wouldn't recommend like one of the permanent style mounts, but a quick disconnect mount, so you can quickly disconnect the TV and move it inside when it's time to leave or if it starts raining. Water heater, super simple. It's all set up for you guys. The only thing you guys will have to do is put your plug in. It goes in there, thread it by hand. As soon as you get it as close as you can by hand, it's an not inch and 16th, 15/16. 15/16 is the socket size. If you'd rather use, I use a little short socket with an extension and a ratcheting wrench to get it tight. They make a tool for it, so you can buy the tool if you want to use that too. Let's get the plug in. As soon as you have water hooked up to it, it'll start filling this tank. And then you should be good to go. And then I recommend draining it after every trip that you've used it. So if you were using it for a whole week and then you know you're not going to go again for a couple months, drain the water out of there. Just like your fresh tank, the water will start to get stagnant. But before you pull the plug to drain the water out, crack the pressure relief, wait for all the water to stop coming out, and then snap it closed. Then you can take the plug out. And then the only maintenance you'll have to do in here is clean in here, and then clean in there. Keep it clean and back in the water heater. Some people neglect to do that, and then they end up having issues with it in the future. Exhaust for your furnace, again, keep it clean. Same with your fridge, keep it clean. That's all you have to really do. Clean in here, and it even helps to take this whole panel off. Just give these a quarter of a turn and pop the panel off. Clean back there as best you can. Outdoor little kitchen area. You got this mini fridge that's only going to work when you're plugged in, unlike your fridge inside. Then you have your outdoor grill, so flip that up and over, pull it out. Got your propane line that you will hook up to right here. Quick disconnect, and then you have a black, that's a valve. Turn that, open it to turn the propane on, and then all you got to do to light it is turn it on to light, and then light the burner with the match or barbecue lighter. That's pretty much it for the outside. We'll mosey our way to the inside. We'll start in the front and work our way to the back. It's because there's not a whole heck of a lot in the bedroom. Your light switch for the bedroom is controlled on the fixture itself. You have a button on there. You turn it on. Yeah, you got plenty of storage in here. Some stuff up above. You have a light over there, and then on each side of the bed there is dual USB port and outlet and a little shelf with a hole in it. So you can like plug your charger in there, run your phone up through there, and then the rest of your phone on that shelf. This side of the bed, there's a little door. That's going to be perfect if you wanted to put a laundry hamper in that storage compartment. Then you have a spot to put some of your laundry, which is nice. And then both doors, you unbutton them right here. You can slide them open and close. They don't lock closed, but they definitely lock open next, because you want to make sure you button these before you travel. Otherwise, you might arrive where you're going and see a door-shaped dent in the wall. Same deal with the other side. You have a spot for a mount for TV as well as power, and then again satellite, and then coax. So if you have a portable satellite hooked to the one outside, the inlet, you'd have to hook your TV to this one. If you're running through cable or antenna, you hook your TV to that one. Emergency exit. So you would just lift it up like that. Use it as emergency. I'll use it as a regular window. If it was an emergency, you would push this all the way out, grab the screen here, pull the screen out, and then jump out the window. Most of the windows in here work this way. You just grab them, push them up and down. The only one that'll be a little bit different is the kitchen one. It's more like a traditional blind. Got your TV, as well as, again, the same cable and satellite input on the back of it right there, as well as power. The mount does move. You can move this TV out and adjust it. You can move it whichever way you want. It also gives you access to the back if you wanted to add like a game console or your own Blu-ray player. There is a DVD player. It is built into your radio. But before we go into that, you got a TV strap. You want to make sure you strap your TV around like this before you travel. And there's the remote for your TV. There will be a remote for your radio too. My bad. We'll put your remote for your TV right above your TV in there, so you know where to find it. Your radio right below there. Like I said, it works as the DVD player as well. It's not an HD DVD player. It's just a standard AV, the red, yellow, and the white. Got your power there. You have zones. So if you hit zone 1, it turns the inside off. It'll just be outside. Turn zone 2 off. Zone 1 back on. It'll just be inside. So that's good if it's late at night, you don't want to bother people, or if someone's inside napping, you still want to listen to music. Get pause, play, all that. Auxiliary input, headphone jack, USB. Bluetooth, hit Bluetooth. You look for Furrion DV3100 on your phone. It might ask for a pin. Usually it's all zeros, all ones, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple to use. All these numbers, even the ones for zone, if you push and hold, that's how you save a preset. For an example, we'll push and hold 1. You hear a beep. Now 93.5 is your preset for number 1. So these are your presets right here. And then these numbers right here, zone 1 and 2, so don't get these confused with your presets. And then that's your jack for if you had a DVD player or a CD. It's a CD player too. And then while we're still on that topic, we'll show you your remote for your radio is right here. And so you know where all your remotes are. We'll put the remote for your radio in here. This will also be the remote you would use if you were using it as a DVD player as well. Still in this corner, got your monitoring panel, so you can measure black, fresh. Oh, sorry, battery. How full your fresh tank, your black, and your gray. Ignore black 2 and gray 2. You don't have a second bathroom. They just use the same panel for a bunch of different units, so you can monitor everything there. Get your water heater on propane or electric. You can run both at once if you want to. However, if you are going to use electric, make sure there is water in your water heater. Water pump, so if you are pulling from your onboard tank, you turn your water pump on that way. And then you have porch light, which is the LED lights under your awning. So we'll turn it back on so you can see. And then ceiling lights, we'll just do these main bits of ceiling lights. All the other lights, like the one in the bedroom, you have to turn on and off at the light. And then awning controls, they retract and extend. The awning pretty much goes the whole length of the camper. It does not automatically stop when it goes all the way out, so you'll have to let go of the switch when it's all the way out. We'll show you what it looks like when all the way out. Right like that. When you see the bare tube and the flap hang down, you're all the way out. They are adjustable for pitch. Grab here, let's let it focus so you can read it, pull down to adjust pitch. Now this end is lower than that end. And that's good if it's raining a little bit. Instead of having all the water run off along the edge, you'll have it run off to one corner. And the nice thing about these is if you had them adjusted and you forgot, you can still run your awning. It's not going to damage anything. Now, if you have it awning out, starts drizzling a little bit, you should be fine. But when you start noticing high winds, real big heavy raindrops, real bit heavy rain coming, roll your awning in. You don't want the wind to rip it off. You don't want the awning to break or anything like that. However, if you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance, whether it's when you get home from the trip or the next day after the rainstorm, roll your awning back out. Let the water dry out. You don't want to forget you had water rolled up in there. And then 2 months later, when you go to open your awning again, it's going to smell, and you'll still see streaks from all the water in there. And then you have your controls for your slide out. Very easy there. Right here, you hit mode. This is your thermostat for all your HVAC stuff. You'll do fan. That'll just run your AC fan, but not the compressor. Hit it again. Cool. Hit it again. Furnace. So once you have it to mode, you have fan on. So that'll just be the fan low and high. Fan auto. Fan on. Low and high. Fan auto. Low and high. So fan for your AC, just the fan on, high or low, that just changes the fan speed of the AC. If it's just fan on, if you have your AC set to 60, once it hits 60, it's still going to keep running. It's not going to cycle on and off to regulate that temperature. The reason I don't recommend doing that, the reason I recommend just leaving it on auto is it's going to allow it to hit 60 degrees. See, and right now it's colder than 60 degrees in there, and you heard the AC was running when it wasn't on auto. It was just fan. But now that it's on auto, it's colder than 60 degrees in here. AC won't kick on until it gets above 60 degrees. The reason I don't recommend using just having it constantly running is if it's hot, humid, and you've been running your AC all day, even though it's reached its temperature, you know, it'll still keep running because you're not on auto. Excuse me. Eventually it'll freeze up because if it's humid, all the humidity, all the condensation, all the moisture, it'll freeze up the condenser, and it won't kick back on again until it all thaws out. So that's why I recommend just having on auto. Hit mode again, go through furnace. The furnace will just be running. It'll have auto too. Your furnace goes all the way up to 85, and I didn't get to show you how cold your AC gets up to 60. And hit mode again, turns it off. Very easy to use. You got a pop-up outlet here. It's GFCI protected. Like I said, all your GFCIs are on the same circuit, so if you were to trip this outlet, you have to go into the bathroom and reset it at the main GFCI. There's a little light switch here. Nice kitchen cover right here. It's similar to material to cutting board. You can use it as a cutting board. I recommend using this side, though. That way when you have it, using it as a sink cover, you don't see all your cut marks on it. Microwave only works when you're plugged in. It works just like your microwave at home. It's very simple. Folding glass cooktop for your stove. Fold. That'll act as your backsplash. An extra backsplash as you fold it up. Then to use it, you just turn it to the flame. Twist it to light it. You're good to go. Your oven's a little differently. Works a little differently. You push it to the flame. Push it in. As you're pushing the flame in, you spark this. And then what you're looking for is that pilot in there to get lit. Once the pilot's lit, you would turn it to whatever temperature you wanted. If you plan on using it again in a few hours, and you don't want to relight your pilot again, if you turn it to the flame, shuts the burners off, but leaves the pilot on. However, turn that off before you go to bed. You do have a light here, up on the switch, just turns the knobs on. All the way down does the knobs and the light in the oven. And then as you got a sneak peek earlier, this blue book's going to have all your manuals in it. And any appliance that was installed will have a manual in there too. We'll snake around. That turns to a bed. All you do is pop the table up, pop them legs off. The table will rest on these little black bumpers. Then you just rearrange your cushions. It'll be that back cushion and these two side cushions to make a platform for a bed. Fridge, super simple. You have on or off, auto or gas. So off, on, auto, gas. Auto is just what I would recommend using. It's going to default to 110. If you had it plugged in, that's what it's going to use. If someone were at the campground were to trip over your shore cord, or the campground were to lose power, or wherever you had it plugged in were to lose power, this will automatically switch to running off of propane if your gas were to be on. However, sometimes this check light will turn on. If you had just turned the gas on and you know you were running this off of gas because you were primitive camping somewhere or your site didn't have power, and you knew you had to run it on gas, if it's the first thing you try to appliance you try to run on gas, more than likely that check light's going to go on because gas hasn't reached the fridge yet. The best thing to do is try to get one of your, turn your furnace on. That'll draw in some gas, propane, and then try to get one of your burners on your oven to light. If you got that to light, more than likely there's enough gas that reached your fridge to turn it on gas. The only little bit of information about your fridge is these do not work like your normal refrigerator. These two take about 8 to 10 hours to get to operating temperature. So if you have the chance to, or the ability to, plug it in the night before at home. Bunks. Light on either bunk. 2 USB ports. Outlet over there. Some cubbies. Same with the one below that. Another emergency exit back there. Works the same way as the other one. Got your breaker box under here. All your breakers for your 120 volt appliances. All your fuses for your 12 volts. So you have some 15s, a 10, and 240s. I recommend carrying some spare fuses, just in case. And right below that, carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. So that's hardwired to the 12 volt system. There's no batteries you have to worry about changing. However, if your battery up front starts to die because you didn't have it plugged in, that might start chirping every few seconds. That's just telling you that it doesn't have enough voltage to operate correctly. Plug your camper in, get that battery back to charge. Your other safety appliance, your smoke alarm up over there, uses 9 volt batteries. So if they start getting you those low voltage chirps, replace the 9 volt battery. Then your other safety equipment, other remaining bit of safety equipment is your fire extinguisher. So all those 3 safety equipments, they expire in 10 years. So this, I believe, is a 2020. So in 2030, regardless of whether they've never alarmed, whether they've never gone off, whether they've never used your fire extinguisher, replace them or have them replaced. Because it's a safety thing and it'll give you peace of mind. And then last little bit on the inside, the bathroom. Got your light switch in here. This is your resettable GFCI, so any outlet with a GFCI sticker on it, if it would have tripped, this is the outlet you come in and reset it at. Bathtub, you can use it as a bath. If you want to use it as a shower, you lift up on here, diverts the water to the shower, and you're good to go. Toilet, super simple. There's a pedal on the side. As long as you're pushing that pedal in, it's going to keep flushing. That's pretty much it for the bathroom. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on in there. You do have a fan up here, and you crank this open to open the vent. Turn this switch to turn the fan on. Definitely recommend running your fan if you're going to take a hot shower. It's just going to keep the moisture out the walls. And that concludes the tour of your Keystone Bullet. Enjoy.